Alright, so we're going to be opening and disassembling this Dell G315 3500. So the battery's not charging. We're going to try replacing the charge port to see if that's the issue. Alright, so we're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. So it looks like these back screws are actually staying in on their own. So you don't need to take those out completely. Let's just undo all these screws. If the screws do come out, you want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. And if you mix them up, you can damage your computer. So this screw came out. Usually I'll put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. And that's how I keep track of the screws to put them back. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue removing all these screws. If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computer repairs, so keep that in mind. Most of the time I won't have these computers by the time you see these videos. But yeah. Alright, so now that we've undone all the screws, again, these four towards the hinge actually stay in place. Let's go ahead and pop it open. So we're going to open up the screen slightly. There's a gap here, so what I'm going to do is, okay, let's see here. The gap is between the blue strip and the plastic part. So what I do is I get my fingernails in there, and then I'll push on the back while I pull with my fingernails, and let's see if we can pop the cover off like that. Yes, it's coming out. Alright, so we're going to work our way all the way across. Same thing, just pulling the cover as we go around. I'm going to slowly, carefully close the screen now. Okay, we're going to work our way over along the side. Same thing. Okay, just like that. You can see this is open now. We're going to go around this side as well. Again, you don't have to use fingernails. You can use plastic pry tools because most people don't grow their fingernails out for this kind of thing like I do. But anyways, we're going to go along the side as well. Okay, so now we got the fronts and the sides out. You can see the back is still kind of holding. We're going to kind of just wiggle this around. You might have to kind of hold on to the hinge and pull it up as you kind of push the hinge area down. Okay, let's see. Let's try loosening the screw a little bit more. Okay. There we go, and let's see. So it's still kind of holding on. So the clips on the back are actually pretty strong. It looks like you're gonna have to kind of get back there. We might have to use a tool to pull it out, but let's see. Yeah, so let's try with this thin metal pry tool. We're gonna get it between the blue plastic piece and the black plastic piece, and then once we get it in there, you'll feel like a part where it gets stuck, and then you just pull it back, and it looks like that popped it out nicely. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can remove the cover now. And yes, there we go. Alright, so here you can see this is what it looks like inside. I don't remember if I made a video of this because I did have to order the part. So the charge port is right here. I might have made a video of this already. So let's go ahead and see if we're lucky, and if we are, then the computer will work after just replacing this piece. Okay, so yeah, I probably made a video of this already. But anyways, let's go ahead and pop this out. Actually, no, I didn't make a video of this, I don't think. At least not for the whole entire thing. Okay, we're going to remove the charge port. There's one more screw here holding that in place. So we're going to take that screw out. Again, PH1, JS1 screwdriver. Let's go ahead and get this metal plate out. Okay, you do want to be careful with this. I would highly recommend actually disconnecting the battery here. So let me zoom in. Okay, so the battery's connected right here. I probably shouldn't have removed the DC jack first, but let's go ahead and show you. So we're going to disconnect the battery. So I just grab the wings and wiggle it like that and pull the connection out. Let's zoom out again. And then after you disconnect the battery, you actually want to open up the screen carefully. All right, slowly. And then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. If you can't get a good button, you can kind of hold from the back and make sure to kind of press it together. So right now I can't get a good firm push of the button, so I'm going to hold the two pieces together, and we're going to hold that for about 15 seconds. So this will drain any residual power from the computer, making it a lot safer to work on. So if you don't do this, there's a good chance you can short out something on the computer. Doing this makes it a lot less likely, so it takes 15 seconds, just do it. All right, now we're going to close this back up. Okay, and the reason I was saying we probably should do that first is because this metal plate, if you mess up, this metal plate, if you mess up removing it and you touch it on this, you can actually fry something, so you want to be very careful. All right, so we're going to pull the charge port connector out now. So same thing, it has those little wings. We're going to kind of just wiggle this as we pull it back, and there we go. All right, so before, when he had this plugged in, it wasn't detecting the charger. You want to make note of how it's connected. So here you can see, you can't see the pins on this side of the connector, and on the bottom you can actually see the gold pins. So it was connected this way with the gold pins facing down. If you get the charge connector right, and it should come with this adhesive strip to hold it in place, then you probably don't have to worry, because there's no way you can plug this in upside down unless you're just like, I don't know, not really paying attention and don't care about this. But let's go ahead and pinch this back into place. So we just pinched both sides of the DC jack back into place to get it connected properly. I'm going to swing this back up here and get this lined up properly. Okay, so now that we got that lined up, we're going to get this metal plate back into place. Okay, normally when you put this piece, you would actually put this metal plate and then plug this in, because this might be covering the screw hole. But in this case, it's actually staying out of the way, so that's actually nice. Let's go ahead now and get this screw tightened into place. Okay, so there we go. I'm not going to put that plastic stuff back on yet, the black plastic piece, or peel this, because I want to test it before I peel this off. If the charge port doesn't work, then we kind of just wasted money, and it's not necessary. But anyways, let's go ahead and open this and see what else we got. We got the RAM here. So the RAM comes out, you just pull these two tabs to the side, all right, that are holding it into place. It will pop up, and then you can go ahead and pull the stick out. The RAM is PC4 3200 AA. You do want to use PC4 3200 RAM to make sure that it's compatible. You can get any size stick you want. This is 4 gigs. You can get two 8 gig sticks. You can get two 16 gig sticks, whatever you want. In theory, this model might support any DDR4 RAM, but that's not guaranteed. So if you want to try other speeds of DDR4 RAM, go for it, but make sure you have a good return policy, because there's a chance it might not work. All right, so they have a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here. I don't know why, but they're using this super short one, maybe to use less thermal material. So there's two screws holding it down. Okay, normally I don't take all this stuff out because there's a little more risk involved, but I kind of just want to show the more commonly replaced parts. So this copper piece will just come off. It has a thermal pad again, as I mentioned, to keep this the heat from getting too high. But this is a M.2 PCIe NVMe. I forget what the size of it is. They go by the length in millimeters, if I remember correctly. And this is the shorter type. Oh, here, 2230. So it's 30 millimeters long, 22 millimeters wide. You can use the 2280 SSD if you want. You can just get the really long ones. Just don't put the copper piece on top, because if you put that small copper piece, you're going to damage the SSD, because you won't have anywhere to screw the other side into, and it's just going to be hanging out. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the SSD back in. It goes in at an angle, just like the RAM. All right, but let me show you here what I mean. If you were to put this here, see, this won't screw into anything. It's just going to be loose, and you can actually damage your SSD that way. So you can just put the SSD here, or put the screw there, and it will hold the SSD into place. All right, anyways, let's go ahead now and get this thermal shield thingy back on top. All right, it's kind of annoying trying to get this into place, but there we go. Okay. And if you are replacing this, make sure that you are reinstalling the operating system, or that you cloned this to the new SSD before removing it. All right. You can also put a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive or SSD in here. So they actually have the connector and the screws here. So they have the, they have the 4 screws down here. Let me actually show you that real quick. And then I'm going to get on to just showing the checking if the charger works now. It looks like, okay, there's actually 3 screws holding this in place. So there's one more up here. Okay, so get these 3 screws out, and you can actually see it comes with the SATA connector here, and then it has these 4 screws for putting into the side to hold the hard drive or SSD into place. And if you're wondering where you connect the hard drive, it's actually here. It says HDD. So that's where you would actually connect that ribbon cable. You would want the gold pins facing down, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind if you are going to use the cable to put in a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive or SSD, that you know how to plug that in. They actually have nice instructions here. They tell you to flip up the latch here, insert the thing that way, and yep, they actually give you good, clear instructions on how to do the entire thing. All right, the speaker here is connected with a wire to the other speaker all the way on the other side, and they're connected to the motherboard here. There's the BIOS, CMOS, RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it right here. To remove it, you just push it over that way and you can lift it up. Usually I'll use a screwdriver or something, anything small that you can use to get in this little area, and then you can push it over that way and lift it up. It's a CR2032, very common battery for computers and BIOS batteries. You got the keyboard connector here, keyboard backlight connector here. The battery does separate from the cable here, so if you replace the battery, keep in mind it's not going to replace this cable. So if you damage this cable, you actually need to buy this cable separately. The battery model number is 266J9, so if you need that, 266J9, all right? Then you got this FPR. I'm guessing that's for models with a fingerprint reader. I'm guessing that's what FPR stands for. All right, you got this connector here. I didn't take out the stuff, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess this is for the touchpad or the trackpad. Actually, I see a TP1 in very tiny letters there, so most likely that's correct. You got the wireless card here with the wireless antennas. They come out just like every other model. There's this metal bracket on top. Then you pop those antennas out by pulling straight up on the tail. And then it comes out just like the RAM or the SSD, up at an angle, and you can pull it out. Fan is right here. I see 2 screws. I don't know if that will completely release the fan, but this fan is basically the same thing. It looks like part of the fan is underneath the heatsink. I don't want to mess around with it, but it looks like it might be easy. Maybe let me try loosening 2 screws on one and just see if it moves around. So we'll just loosen it. Not even going to take it out, and yeah, you can probably take the fan out really easily on this model. So as far as upgrading and repair, this model seems to be very nice. Yeah, so you can see I can actually take the fan out pretty easily. I'm going to assume the other fan is the same. It would be stupid if they designed one to be easy to remove and the other one to be a pain in the butt. But anyways, let's get these screws back in. Okay, the 2 USB ports and the headphone jack, as well as the, I think that's the SD card reader slot, they're all replaceable. They're all on one board, so if something breaks on this board, you can replace the whole board. The cable does go underneath here, and then it actually goes underneath the motherboard. I don't know if you can see. So if you damage this cable, that's going to be a pain to remove. Just keep that in mind. GPU is here, soldered onto the motherboard, not upgradable, not replaceable. CPU is here, also soldered to the motherboard, not upgradable, not replaceable. Of course, there are exceptions if you're like some crazy skilled, or if you have the tools to do like GPU, CPU reballing, then okay, sure, you can replace it. But in terms of normal people that open up their computer to work on it, they're not going to be able to replace that, all right? LCD, LVDS connectors right here. If you are going to mess with this cable, again, make sure after disconnecting the battery that you open up the computer and press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. All right, I think that's everything without having to take the computer apart further. So let's go ahead now and check if the charge port replacement actually solved the charging issue. So we're going to, of course, plug the battery back in. Okay. Get that into place, and then we're gonna pinch the 2 pieces and get that reconnected. All right, so we're gonna test this. If we're lucky, the charge port will fix the charger problem, and the customer will be very happy because they wanted to take this on a their trip or something, a holiday vacation. So let's see if they're lucky. All right, we're gonna unwrap their charger because we want to use theirs, not mine, to make sure that their charger won't have the issue. I don't know, their charger feels very light. Hopefully this is, let's see, this is 130 watt. I don't know if this is the genuine original DELL charger. I mean, it says DELL on it, but from the weight of it, it feels like a cheap knockoff, so I don't know. I haven't felt the original one when they bought it, so, and I didn't ask the customer. It looks new, so I have a feeling they replaced this. But anyways, we're gonna plug this into the charge port, of course. The computer's turning itself on for some reason. We're gonna press F2 to go into the BIOS settings. All right, and let's see here if we can find, let's see if we can find it. So we're in the BIOS memory battery. So here you can see battery level, battery level 1%, AC adapter not installed, health excellent. So I don't think it's gonna be charging the battery. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna try with my charger and we'll see if there's a difference. All right, so we turn that off. We'll unplug that. Let me get my charger. All right, let me see. Is my charger powerful enough? I have my charger is actually 180 watts, so we're gonna try that. Okay, so let's unplug their charger and plug my charger in. Okay, let's get my charger. Okay, so let me make sure I have the right cable plugged in here because I have a lot of chargers up here. Okay. All right, so let's get this plugged in. I found the right one. All right, am I plugging on the wrong side? Okay, I'm gonna plug it in over here. All right, plug that in. All right, I see the charge light is coming on, or at least the plug light. Let's power it up. Let's press the F2 button. Let's see what we got. Entering BIOS. And we got no luck. Battery level 0%. AC adapter not installed. Health excellent. Battery idle. So battery's not charging. It's not detecting the charge port properly. I don't know why. It's definitely running off battery power or charger power, because watch, I'm gonna pull this battery out. Okay, and it should stay on. Okay, I disconnected the battery connector here, and you can see the computer's still on. So I don't know what's causing that. It doesn't want to charge. I'm probably going to have my partner take a look at the motherboard and see if they can figure out what's going on, why it's not charging. The only other thing I can try is doing a BIOS reset, which let me actually do that. So we're going to remove the BIOS battery here. Let's close this. I'm going to use a thin plastic pry tool here to push the battery out. So we're just going to push the battery inwards here. You can see it's spring loaded, and then we're going to lift it up. You can also use a magnet to help pull the battery out. So while you're pushing this in, you can use a magnet and you can just pull that up if it works. It doesn't seem to want to work. So I guess we're going to use the sharper point of this and pry it out. There we go. All right, so we got the CMOS BIOS battery out. Now I'm going to short these two pins and see if shorting out and draining the BIOS is going to help. All right, so we're basically going to get a screwdriver to connect this pin with this pin and just touch those two together. So this piece here, all right, and we're just going to short those two. And if we're lucky, resetting the BIOS might somehow help. I doubt it's going to do anything. So that means replacing the charge port's probably not going to do anything. But yeah, all right, let's find out. So we got that. We already shorted the BIOS battery pins to reset the BIOS completely. We're going to push this battery back in at an angle, drop it in. We're going to get this battery back in, pinch that into place. We're going to carefully open this up. We're going to plug this in again. Okay. Nothing's happening here. No lights. Oh, there we go. It's turning itself on. Okay, I don't know. I guess because the BIOS reset, now it's doing some reset. I think it might be starting up now, so I'm going to press the F2 key just in case. This light isn't staying on, which is a bad sign. That means it's not detecting the charger properly. So I have a feeling it's not going to charge. But let's give it a few more seconds for it to continue booting. It's resetting itself multiple times. That means the BIOS again is resetting. The light here did come back on. And now it's off again, sadly. Okay. It still hasn't booted up all the way, so we're going to keep waiting. Battery light is off. Okay, it's resetting again. Hopefully you can actually see the keyboard lighting up and turning on, turning off. The light here did turn back on again, if you can see it on my finger. Okay, it's starting up. Let's press F2. Oh, the battery charge light is flashing different colors, orange and red and white. I don't know if you can see with my finger there. Yeah, you can see it's flashing. Battery, AC adapter not installed. Battery, so it still doesn't detect it. And you can actually see it's complaining about the charger. Okay, so I guess no luck. We're gonna turn this back off. I'll try their charger one more time just in case Dell is picky and it doesn't like different chargers from their line. But again, I don't know if this is the original charger or if this is an aftermarket charger that they brought me. So if it's an aftermarket charger, that could be the issue, because Dell is being really picky now. All right, let's go ahead and plug this in and see what we got. It turned itself back on again. Press F2. I see the white light. The white light went away. And yeah, there's no charge light at all now. Same thing, not installed. All right, so looks like the charge port didn't solve the issue. Excuse me. Sadly, it looks like it's something else, motherboard related. I don't know if one of these chips, sometimes the charge, I think it's called like the charge IC or whatever, board is bad. So we're just going to remove this and put back the old one and give the customer the bad news. I have a partner that might be able to fix this. Again, I'm doing this a little bit risky by not disconnecting the battery and draining the power before doing this. So don't copy me unless you're like super careful. But either way, it's a good idea to kind of disconnect the battery to be safe. All right, anyways, we're going to plug this back in and put that back. And sadly, I'm going to have to give my customer the bad news. All right. So there we go. Get this cable out of the way. All right, I guess let's go ahead and reassemble this computer now. It is what it is, and we'll just have to deal with that. All right, so let me zoom out here. I'll probably talk with them. They'll probably say it's okay to have my partner take a look at it. But as far as my abilities, I'm not able to diagnose the motherboard to figure out what's wrong to fix that. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop this back together. Pop everything back together, and then just get all the screws back in. And that's pretty much all there is to this. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If you have charging issues too, please let us know, because if I see a whole bunch of people complain about it, there's a very good chance that it could be a design defect. And I don't know, I haven't done it before, but maybe we can get all the people that have the same issue to start a class action lawsuit or something to get this fixed. But yeah, anyways, we're going to just get all these screws back in, and that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get all these screws back into the laptop. But other than that, that's all there is to it. All right. Let's go ahead and get the last 4 in. All right. This view. Okay. Alright, and that's all. Thanks for watching. Again, hopefully it helped you guys with your computers. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this channel with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.